Men, stretching, yoga does not improve your mobility. If you are simply stretching 3 times a week, tickling the length of your muscles, barely working out, just doing a little bit of stretching, just doing some stretching to warm up, just doing some stretching to cool down, you think that is seriously going to improve your mobility? Well, men, you are mistaken. In this educational lecture, I'm going to be going over why your mobility declines as you get older and what you can do about it to negate this actually happening. Prevention. Everything on this channel is about prevention. Those of you that just jumped on the channel, welcome. It's great to have you. My name is Paul Green and I'm a former British paratrooper and Special Forces Support Group operator. Fortunately, over the past decade, I've spent a lot of my time training some elite men, thousands from the RAF, the Royal Marines and the Parachute Regiment. These units, these elite units, in these military roles, have not got good mobility. It's a very common theme. They have not got good mobility. And one of the main reasons is the job generally doesn't actually require high mobility. So it can be easily overlooked, right? However, that probably isn't specific to you. But what is specific to you is stretching to improve your longevity. Now let's just make sure we get this right. So nowadays I'm fully online and the longevity program is my program in which I coach men over the age of 40 and I implement all of this stuff for them to make sure that they are very well suited for the second half of their life. Anyway, today's plan, got a really itchy nose, geezers. We're going to talk about mobility. What is it? What are you doing which could be having a detrimental effect to your mobility? Solutions, and the key term, when you understand something, the consistency of bringing it into your life is so much easier. This is essentially the mission of this on YouTube for me. Understand, easier to implement. If you simply just copy what people say with no understanding, you can easily venture off left and right. When you understand it, it's so much easier. That's the plan. That's my promise. And if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, something that'd be useful, then stick around. It's going to be a really short one. Geezers, about 10 minutes max. Just going to brush over it today. Right, mobility, what is it? To catch us out straight away, mobility is, there's a little bit more to mobility than you may have thought. Stamina, strength, balance, coordination, and range of motion. Now, if you're not training all of these, you aren't really going to get much more mobile. Most people stretch in order to increase their range of motion. Now, if you stretch, you increase the range of motion. However, the body will just go back to that previous version unless you are extremely consistent with it and you train your range of motion at high intensity. The common theme across men that stretch is that you don't have to do it to a high intensity. Anything in this world that you want it's not given for free. You have to work really hard at it. And simply doing 5 minutes of stretching before training, it's not going to do anything. So you might as well not even do it. Honestly, some is better than none. No, just do it properly. Of course, you have to earn the right to train at high intensity. A lot of the stuff I talk about on my channel is about this stuff here. Strength. Train intensely to get stronger. However, you can easily link the two. So, most people stretch, which improves their range of motion. And if you don't do it very intensely, if you don't do it at 80 to 95% intensity, it's not going to do anything. Your muscles and joints are just going to go back to the previous state that they were in. So the purpose of this, quick definition. What is mobility? Mobility is designed as your ability to move purposefully as you go through your day. It's the foundation for living a healthy and independent life. Mobility compromises of all the skills required for everyday living. Physical stamina, strength, balance, coordination, range of motion. That's just ripped off Google. Anyway, you've got to ask yourself, if you're not mobile, how often are you mobile? And I always notice, people that are retiring, people that have worked all their life, they retire, 60, 65-year-olds, sometimes they retire early. This declines massively. And it's one of the main causes of pain in most men, 50-odd-year-old, 60-odd-year-old. But you've got to look at yourself in the mirror and you've got to say, how often am I doing this stuff? Could you train one of these every day? 5 days a week? Okay, maybe. But how often are you doing it? Are you simply just going, I'm going to stretch 3 times a week and I'm just going to do some walking? You think that's going to make a significant difference to your life? It's not going to do much. Trust me. And I think you realise that. Laziness doesn't work. Simple. So, I ask you the question, what should you do? I'm going to tell you exactly what I do for the guys on the longevity program. Take it or leave it. The reason this YouTube channel works really well is because for people that can't afford the coaching, they get the education on here for free. Well, I say for free. It costs you your time if you've got the patience. If you're strategic in the order in which you choose to do these, you can get the best bang for buck on each, right? So, what do I mean by that? You've got stamina, strength, balance, coordination, range of motion. If you don't have any strength, you're not going to be able to build range of motion long term, and vice versa. So there's a way you can structure this to basically smoothly align with each other. So this is my recommendation. This is the fundamentals block, 12-week block on the longevity program. If you fancy a bit of that, seriously, jump on the links on my channel, treat yourselves, book a call and all that jazz. Anyway, this is what I do, right? I program effective strength training with full range of motion for the first 12 weeks. I get men that haven't trained with their joints exploring full range of motion under resistance at intensity for decades, right? So this is what you should do. You should start training with a full range of motion. And if you train with a full range of motion, you don't need to stretch. You don't need to stretch after your session. You don't need to stretch before your session. Because you are stretching with weight. This is stretching with weight. But you're getting both. You're getting both benefits. You're getting stronger and you're getting more flexible for the same amount of time. You can stay in a yoga pose for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, but you're not really getting strong. Here, you're getting strong. You're gaining muscle. Your joints are getting stronger instead of just getting muscles longer. Muscles longer isn't even a good thing because long muscles messes up the synergy of your muscles. Muscles need to be strong first. By all means, if you want to do full range of motion training, you really want to get the splits, get the box splits, front splits, head kicks, whatever you want to do. If you want mobility for rock climbing, skydiving, better range of motion of the shoulders, all the rest of it. Without this, you're playing with fire. If you're weak in the end ranges, but you're flexible, what do you think's going to happen? You're just asking for joint issues. So, on the first block, right? Effective strength training with a full range of motion. Do some zone 2 aerobic training for the stamina bit. After your zone 2 training, Get your stretching in. Hard stretching sessions though. Zone 2, right? You got in aerobic training or cardiovascular training, you've got different training zones, and that's based off your heart rate. Zone 1 is completely chilled, probably walking. Zone 2 is the slowest jog you can probably ever do in your life. Zone 3, a little bit uncomfortable, called the grey zone in the endurance world, because it isn't beneficial for your aerobic system development, and it's arguably not beneficial for your glycolytic system development. So you don't really get the best of either, because you get a little bit of both, which is shit, to be honest. Does that make sense? So you don't want to train, you either want to be master of one, which is zone 2, just pure aerobic, doesn't really use any extra fuel, it's just oxygen in, fat, proper low level intensity. However, you can split that up into 2 based off how well you recover. You can either do running, jogging, or you can just do low impact, which is swimming and other variants like cycling, rowing, stuff like that. But the key is zone 2, really low intensity. But do your stretching after your zone 2 sessions. If you really want to get mobile, do like a 30-minute zone 2 run, and then you do a 30-minute stretch. But make sure the stretching is a high intensity. Like, honestly, there's a reluctance and there's a fear to train your mobility at an extremely high intensity. Yes, you have to earn the right. There has to be a little grace period, a little ramp, so it's fairly safe. Because however you look at it, right, stretching is either strengthening the length of your muscles or it is getting mobile. There's always a little bit of strengthening that happens when you stretch, and there's always a little bit of stretching that happens when you strength train. However, you can bunch the 2 of them up. I get it, you've got busy schedules. Get yourself in the gym, do this properly, and you can be in and out the gym within 45 minutes, having got stronger and more mobile if you do the strength training. And then your zone 2 aerobic, you just got to change your attitude. You really want to get mobile, you're going to have to graft equally as hard on your strength sessions and on your stretching sessions. So, again, a lot of these lectures, I am repeating myself because it's just basic stuff, and the basic stuff is intensity is the most important thing, even for mobility, because a lot of people will lead you down a path of for most cases, for most personal development, physical development reasons, intensity is the most important thing for you getting stronger and more mobile. However, there is definitely a case, if you want to get more aerobically fit, then you need to oppose intensity. You need to do everything as efficient as possible. Anyway, that's probably a different video. Gentlemen, short one today. Thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow.